On volume number 10, you're talking about the Caro-Kann advanced variation, an opening I hate to play against as white, but luckily you are there to save me. Now, the problem with Caro-Kann is often enough people say it's just super solid and you cannot break through. Is this really the case?
Well, this is the case, but I did pick up actually advanced variation because I think it's one of the most aggressive variation. And I did try to find the games and ideas that are going to inspire white players playing actually put being in a position like what you told me, like, okay, you hate this opening, to change this, that you would say, okay, I did follow this DVD, and now I cannot wait for someone to play Caro-Kann so I can crush him in some kind of flamboyant attack.
I love that. By the way, I have to correct you because DVD, that's a thing from the past.
Okay.
From very, very, very shortly on, we actually have only the downloadable version for all of you. This is the big change which has happened and occurred very recently. You have found ideas and you've put in all of this 7 hours and 19 minutes, and all the fans who know that you're one of the greatest chess coaches in the world know that you like to go in depth with a lot of things. So when you are talking about playing against the Caro-Kann advanced variation, what is your personal favorite fifth or sixth move?
Uh, well, I will start maybe with my favorite fourth move.
Okay.
Because at the fourth move, after you push e5 and black plays bishop f5, you need to more or less decide how the game is going to go. And old aggressive line, which is knight c3, fourth move knight c3, followed by g4, was played a lot in a pre-computer time.
Mm-hmm.
Played a lot in a pre-computer time. Then engines, well, came to become important part of your chess preparation. And people started to play a little bit more conservative move, like fourth move, knight f3, much more. Or sometimes h4, h5, bishop d3. But I was somehow curious, before I came up to record material for a chess base, as to whether this is whether the reason for this is that people have found some clear antidote to all the aggressive lines with their knight c3 and followed by g4, or many things are kind of unclear and simply players do not want to, let's say, move away from the safety net.
Mm.
Well, what my research told me is actually the latter one. There is no clear antidote versus aggressive lines for white.
Uh-huh.
Actually, you have some aggressive players of even younger generation, like, for example, Farham that played a few times. Older generation, Shirov that played his whole life with actually pretty good score. And there is no actually clear antidote to these very aggressive lines.
Excellent. We will take a look at one of your examples about all of this in a short moment. But for now, I would like to take a look at the books section, which is still pretty new to a lot of the viewers. And it is,
It was new to me.
and even to you. Yes.
10 minutes ago.
So as you can see, I'll just put us here a little bit on the side. As we can see, this is my ChessBase shop download folder. And once these are the King's Indian structures and your Caro-Kann advanced variation, we can download it. We can also just click on streaming and look at the video section. But this is one of the newest and best key features and the most fun. If we click on read now, a new tab opens. And there we have the whole contents of the chapters of the chess-based training course. So if we go here, for example, we can just click on one of the lines which you are explaining. And here is your full video. If we wait a little bit, then we can see it's loading, 29 minutes. And you were also talking about the game by Giri against Salem, where he is using the move knight to d2. Very, very interesting. Then there's practice positions, because of course, and I think you can agree with this, but I'm not 100% sure, I don't want to put this in your mouth, Do you believe that if you only watch your course, this is enough to gain some advantage and knowledge, or is it highly advisable to replay and practice the positions you're mentioning?
Look, it's quite simple. The more time and energy you are willing to invest, the more benefit you are going to get. So, of course, the course itself will improve you as a player, but to invest more energy to solve exercise positions and then to do some additional study of your own will benefit you, of course, greatly if you have time and energy to do this. So I guess it is directly related to the fact as to how much you are willing to improve.
Excellent. We take a little example here for a club level player. And now we are on the move. What is a good move for white in this very position here? Can you help us out?
Well, if I remember it correctly, this is coming from 97 line, which was actually one of the favorite Karpov lines. And well, white is having, I think, maybe two basic ways to play here. One is bishop b5 followed by queen e2. This is, for example, something which is rather normal, and to try to castle queenside. Second one is bishop g2 is not a bad move, but you
Bishop
can still
g2.
play. Yeah, we can still play move queen e2, trying to castle queenside. Then you are imposing a threat to this bishop by move h5, which you at the moment are not really doing because there is move bishop e4.
Okay,
And you can also move like queen e2 right away.
Queen e2 right away. Ah, interesting. So a couple of options. Which one shall we choose?
Yeah. I would probably go for bishop b5 check followed by queen e2.
There is the check. And now we can see Fritz is saying white is minimally better. Okay, that was a good move. And this is, now you can keep on playing against the computer. You can give yourself some automatic hints and do the click and check, which is always a nice option. And now you would say queen would be a good move after that?
Queen e2, yeah, because I would like to make, usually in such a positions, tempo moves are good moves if you can afford them. And here it looks like that white can do that.
And so it is because, of course, after the click and check, I can see that the queen can go to e2. So this is a lot of fun to experience, a bit of learning process and go for the different moves that Fritz will play against you.
Yeah,
And then you can go on.
this particular position, I think, is coming from game Vallejo Karpov, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Where engine is giving around zeros. Engine is basically saying no big deal. But Karpov, he lost the game, and look, in a lot of those lines that you are going to get, like the position that you picked up, you can see that this game is not really likely to end as a draw.
It
Because
looks highly
look,
sharp.
White's center has disappeared, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
This pawn on c5 is probably going to die.
Yes.
But on the other hand, okay, black king still is in the center. There is a pin on e file. There is move h5 that may happen any moment. So very sharp position. And in a lot of those lines, in these old aggressive lines with knight c3 followed by g4, okay, engine will give you zeros, provided that engine is playing. But of course, engine is not playing. So in a game versus a human, and I did pick up many games in this product, in this recording for ChessBase, we see how easy it is for extremely strong players to actually make a mistake playing either side. Either side. And this is simply, you should be, I guess that to play this line with white, you need to have, let's say, three elements. Number one, you should actually be prepared. Number two, you should be a good tactician. You should feel the element of dynamics. And number three, psychologically, you should not be afraid, let's say, leaving the safety net.
I think these are great points. And, the moment you were starting to talk about all of this and giving your expertise, I would so wish that maybe in 20, 30 years from now, we can have you reprogrammed as AI. And every time we replay a position, then you will give your advice. That would be something I would really, really love to see. Well, let's see how the future will be for us about this. Now, let's see from, okay, I'll just go to a random game here. So, and now we're taking a look at a random game, which I'm allowed to choose. And I can already see
Well,
Shirov.
something, for example, in the old books, people were undecided as to whether h4 or h5 is a better move. Also based on matches between Tal and Botvinnik, because Tal with white did choose for this h4 move a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Botvinnik did respond with a both with h5 and h6. Nowadays, h5 is considered actually to be absolutely the main move.
Okay.
I think that I have included game Kramnik Leko, a game which saved Kramnik a World Championship match where Leko played move h6, and Kramnik won game reasonably convincingly. But actually, if you analyze with the modern engines, seems like that white got advantage in a rather early stage, and black never really managed to get to equalize. So h5 established itself as, let's say, as a main move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bishop d3 is kind of normal, and take.
Yeah, this
And
is.
yes, what we are learning in this line and also in this game is that the main problem for black is that black will need to somehow address the queen side situation, the king side situation.
Mm-hmm.
And king side situation is that once you castle king side, which most of the time you have to do, you have to either decide as to how you're going to defend your pawn on h5, or what to do with the square on g5. Weaken square on g5 in the case you decide to play some move like g6. And this is what often the strategy of these games is about, and how to solve those kind of problems. And in order not to be forced to solve these kind of problems, and I did show in a commentary, let's say if black plays move e6 and doesn't try to basically solve it in a drastic manner, that white does have advantage. So what Bareyev does, he's following advice of computer, more or less, and gives queen a5 check, which is the main line according to current theory, with idea to place this queen to a6 f1 diagonal, and this is what he's gonna do in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go ahead,
Closes up.
e6, yes, and now okay, he gets there because black is worried about the king side, about potential attack, and the queen trade looks like a good deal,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And okay, you can proceed with the game. So Shirov is not in a mood to trade queens, well, not immediately anyhow. And well, we will get rather interesting position.
Mm-hmm. All quite
Yeah.
normal moves, making some advance
Yeah.
on the queen side now.
Yeah, all normal moves.
And now it's the decision you were talking about after this
Yeah.
swap.
Yeah.
And
so now exactly you are delaying a castle because you don't want to bother about your king side. You would maybe like to define the situation before this happens, and that's why he plays queen b6,
mm-hmm.
a5, which is a good move.
Little,
But it is connected to a tactical situation.
yes.
And look, here you would get some absolutely crazy position. Yeah, c5 you cannot grab because there is move rook c1.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, this is, for example, position that Shirov won because of his tactical skills. People who are willing to spend time analyzing this is, let's say, excellent tactical exercise, because engines will give you endless possibilities of different kind of sacrifices something, let's say, which would happen also in the game if you would continue a little bit more.
Of course.
Yeah. 93, e4. So, for example, you can here grab a pawn also on e5, and you have many kind of lines that are computer language zeros, human fantastic tests for your ability to actually calculate different kind of pawn breaks, which are going, to ensue in this game. Shiro will win a game actually in a couple of moves.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he will win a couple of moves. Look, this.
There's the pawn grab.
Yeah,
but
pawn
that
grab.
is all according to Shiro.
Yeah.
Very good. And here we go. Here's the first tactical options.
And here you have a number of tactical options. And well, Bareyev is going to play rook d7, which is normal. It looks like that white is actually doing nothing, right?
Well,
White dropped the pawn, and it's not doing much. But here Shirov plays very good move, which is rook a1. And it transpires that white has a threat. And what is a possible threat? This is to grab everything on b7 and to play move rook a7 and to try to queen. So you actually have a threat. And here knight c4 happened. And
there we go.
There we go. Exactly. There we go. Rook b7.
Takes, and let's get the queen.
Yeah. So you may wonder, okay, how could, let's say, such a strong player as a Bareyev basically overlook this threat? It is not easy, because in a practical game, it is, okay, those positions are very tough to handle. And I think that I'm giving somewhere here that there is a computer way to save this position, but this is not the most human move, which is king d8 to bring king closer, because move b5 will be very strong.
Okay.
But because human way will be move like queen d8, because with the queen d8 I am eliminating the mentioned threat. But now b5 is basically very strong, and f4 comes. And suddenly you get to actually a situation where you have another tactics.
Here we go. Very beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. I like this, game. Yeah, and you don't take immediately. I like this game because, well, typical actually Shirov, that it is possible with very limited material to create an amazing tactical possibilities. And
Absolutely,
this is very good, let's say, position for a tactical training, whether you are training yourself or willing to train somebody else. I did spend quite some time, analyzing this position with different kind of options, which I did not put, all in my chess-based product, because otherwise this product would be, I don't know, a couple of hours longer. But this is excellent game to kind of, let's say, perfect to hone your calculation skills in a very unusual position.
Ivan Sokolov, thank you very much for this nice little introduction to your chess-based training course.
Thanks a lot, Alan. Happy to be here.